What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Sav Show. My name is Savilian. I'm the host of this show, and today I'm talking to Dos Boy. Dossie, what's going on, baby?
What's going on, baby?
What's going on, baby?
What's going on, baby?
That's the whole podcast. We just say, what's going on, baby, for like 50 minutes straight.
What's going on, baby?
What's going on, baby?
Yes, Lord. Good to be here, bro. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what kind of like spawned the inspiration for this. I feel like we were kind of catching up at maybe the Fright event or the fat event. You were like, we were talking about podcasting, and
we were.
I could sense
I was fanboying.
Yeah, you're a little fanboy, but I appreciated all of it.
It was real.
It was real. It was very real. And I was like, I feel like I need to talk to Dossie. But I think Jimmy, no, who else was there? Zach was there, or like Hoodie was there.
Hoodie.
I'm like, fuck, I got to talk to Hoodie. I mean, look, at the end of the day, I just want to talk to everyone who I think is interesting.
Hell yeah, bro.
And it's not deeper than that. It's just like, do I find you interesting, and do I have a relationship with you? Yeah. And could we talk about some real shit, some interesting shit, some fun shit, some dynamic shit? If yes, then fucking let's go.
Hell yeah, pimp.
So that's why you're here.
That's it, bro.
All right. So how are you? How are you? What's been going on? Where's your head at the moment?
Bro, I'm well. I'm living good, working hard. My daughter just turned 3 years old last weekend. So I'm a proud dad.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. I'm had a little beer with Sav at the pub just earlier, and I'm kind of like
good beer too.
Yeah, just
vibey.
Like, yeah, exactly. No, I'm feeling good, bro. Yeah, things are good for me. I guess we touched on this when we were talking pre-show, but like, yeah, not so much music-related business going on for me, but very much sort of feeling like I am sort of elevating my,
soul.
My soul, my being. I'm just sort of like doing what's required of me for my family. Working. Got my mum visiting tomorrow. She rolls in with her partner Sid. Yeah, shout out Sid and Chetna.
Yeah.
Chetna. Yeah, that's my mum's name. Sanyasin name. Her born name is Karen.
Yeah.
I mean, no, my mum's another Karen.
Oi, Kaza.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Like
Chetna.
Chetna. It means consciousness.
Oh, okay.
She's very conscious.
I like Chetna more than consciousness.
Yeah, true. Imagine if my mum's name was consciousness.
Yeah, it'd be like, oh, we get it. But Chetna's like, has a bit of swag to it.
It does, yeah. And she's a very swaggy individual.
Yeah,
sure,
okay.
Yeah.
No. So you touch on the little birthday action that went down last weekend.
Yeah.
Do you want to? I mean, for anyone that tapped into the Dexter Seamus kind of podcast a couple of weeks ago, we touched on this concept. But do you want to break it down for me? How'd the party go? What did it look like?
Yeah, I'm happy to. So. My daughter, Armani Blair Burks, she's a beautiful little entertainer. Yeah. And she's very much into Paw Patrol, Spider-Man.
Shout out.
And also Spirit, which is like
was that the horse?
Yeah, the horse.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't know much about Spirit. I know a lot about Spider-Man and Paw Patrol through her. Yeah. But Spirit's a more recent one. I think when we chatted, I was saying... and this is what you were getting at, is like we were talking about, when you have a themed party, like you have one theme to the party, but Armani, she couldn't decide. So she was like, we were like, what do you want your party to be? Like, and one day it was like a Spider-Man party, and the next day it was like a Paw Patrol party, and it was back to Spidey, and then we're like, what do you want it to be? And she's like, she wanted both. So we were like, fuck it, let's make it both. Spider-Man, Paw Patrol. Yeah. And then she was like, and Spirit. So we called it
just to throw a curveball.
Bro,
that's it.
It was a fucking event, bro. It was
okay.
It was let me get it right. It was Spider-Man, Spirit, Paw Patrol party. And then we called it like the Marnie-verse, like, the Spidey-verse.
That's smart.
Like the Spider-Verse.
I like that.
So my girl, shout out Jazz, my queen, she my lovely partner, she's dope with the graphics, and she did this whole like little like animation thing, and it was like welcome to the welcome to the Marnieverse, and like these like spirit horses and Paw Patrol dogs and Spider-Man webs all popped up. And it's like, you are invited to experience the Marnieverse experience and shit. So
the Marnieverse.
Isn't
it crazy when they're that age, they kind of like, there's so many things are just like entering their world, and the thing, whatever enters their world becomes their world, because they're just like, they can only focus like on one or two things.
100%, bro. That's it. And that's why it's like, you know, I know there's many ways to talk about it, but like I've heard it being said as like, you know, the pure state of like the child, or like people even, you know, call it like that. I don't even want to say it, but it's like the Michael Jackson theory that like, don't want to talk about Michael Jackson and kids in the same sentence.
Yeah,
but like, it's like this theory that like when you're born, you're like enlightened, for lack of a better term.
Your rawest form of consciousness.
And then from that point on, you're like infiltrated by like all of society's like you know things and shit, and then you end up with
tarnished.
like no kids born with like fucking anxiety, are they?
No,
like
no.
That's something
You'd
that you
not.
gain.
I hope not.
Yeah, fully. That would suck. But yeah, no, you know what I mean. Like it's like
totally.
kind of like that pure state, and I think that's what you're talking about, and that's why I love. Man, any parent knows what I'm talking about. Like just being around your kid and looking at like, you know, them just in their world. Like Marnie, she knows that I love like NBA and the Golden State Warriors. She wakes up every morning like, and she's like, is Curry playing today, Dad? and then she's like, I want to listen to my Spidey songs. And we put on the Spider-Man soundtrack. And then it's just like, you know, the same shit over and over. But to her, it's like this like the freshest
it's everything.
thing. Every day. It's just like, that's what life is. And it's like,
I mean, not to compare children to dogs, but I had an actually really dope conversation with a postman the other day. So like postman comes to the door, Lachlan, our family dog, Lachlan runs to the door, barking his head off as usual. Yeah. And then postman opens the door. I open the door to the postman, and Lachlan just comes out, gives him a little sniff, says hello, like calm as fuck, right? And then the postman got down and started patting Locke, and he's like, how old is he? And Locke's like 12, 13 years old. Like he's a bit of an older boy, but he has the appearance and the energy of a younger dog,
youthful
right?
energy.
Yeah. And I go, he's like 13. And the postman was like blown away at how old he was compared to like the energy that he gave off. Yeah. And then we started talking about being present and how dogs live in the moment. Yeah. And how if you can keep your dog in the moment, I mean, because you're just giving it like lots of attention and lots of care, so they stay in the moment all the time. They age probably a lot slower. Yeah, and it's for sure. You're keeping that like child mentality.
No, I feel that, and that's why I think it's a good comparison to make. Because like, I got a dog as well. Shout out Lily, and the same thing, bro. I like, she's just like not anymore, but like I was in, I've had Lily for longer than I've had, my queen Jazz or my daughters Marnie and Xena, but she's seen me, like passed out in the cough syrup, like on the Xannies, like on the benders and
she's
shit.
Seen it all.
I mean? And like I wake up in the morning and she's still just wagging her tail. Like, are we going for a walk? There's no, you know what I mean?
Are we doing this, Dad? Are we doing this?
Yeah. Like it's like there's just that pure like that energy.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, they're amazing, bro.
Yeah, and they can
much like kids.
Yeah, and they just pull you out of like you can't keep that same energy. Like if you're pissed off, if you're depressed, if you're anxious, if you're stressed, and you see that like that joy, that pure, unadulterated consciousness, joy, whatever you want to call it, like you can't be like. I mean, you probably still can, but it's a lot harder to keep that energy. And so, get yourself a dog or a kid.
Get yourself, or preferably a kid and a dog. Yeah.
Kid and a dog.
Kid, dog. Kid, dog.
That sounds like a good song.
You remember Cat Dog?
Cat Dog.
Alone in the world with a little cat dog.
Alone in the world with a little cat dog.
Good jingle.
Yeah, fuck yeah. It was a very good jingle. Good show as well. Yeah. So the birthday went off without a hitch. Yeah, perfect. Everyone vibed.
Fantastic, bro.
Partied.
Like, it was so good. Yeah, we were up all night the night before, like setting up my garage. So like, I live in in the hood. Like I won't say where, but it's like pretty hood. And so like we moved into this house last August, and like it's got a ghetto as fuck garage, like leaking roof and shit. Lucky the weather was good because like we kind of like used the garage as like storage.
Yep.
And then like so the day before we like cleaned the whole garage out, like took all the shit out of there, and like got like my sister was visiting. Shout out Soph, Shelby,
Shout out
Snag,
Sophie,
many
so.
nicknames.
Yep.
That's my dog.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was down. So it was me, Jazz, and Soph, and kids were in bed, and we were like up till like 12, 1, or something like that. Just like putting streamers
Getting
on all
done.
the walls and like laying rugs down and shit. And like we did one of those big like balloon banners, transformed the garage. It was so dope, man.
Yeah.
Had like all these like Kmart cushions everywhere. Like it looked like some like little chic temple like type shit. Like it took me back to Byron, man. Like, it was dope.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was sick. And then like we just had a lot of the people I didn't even know, because like, you know, I work 5 days a week. So my misso Jazz will take the kids out, and like obviously their kids kind of like, I don't know, parents will know this as well. Like you kind of like, you become friends with like who your kids friends with, you become friends with their parents.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like all these parents roll through that. Jazz kind of knew, and like, you know, Marnie knows like, oh, you know, this is this guy and shit.
Yep.
Like, and then they roll in, and I'm like, yo, like meeting people. Yeah. They were all just loving it. We had the food, and we had like, had a little sly like gin and tonic station and shit, like just for the parents.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Parents got a little something.
Yeah, we had the Audi spring rolls rocking. We had like pork, like, oh, shout out Emma. He made these cookies, man. She's like cookie business. I wish I knew the name so I could plug it. But she did like Paw Patrol cookies. Like, it was so 100%. Dope. And like we had like party bags for the kids and shit. Like it felt like a party. If I was 3, I would remember.
Yeah.
Okay. It was real.
That's amazing. Yeah, bro. That sounds perfect.
Yeah, so it went well.
The Moneyverse. Okay, beautiful.
Bro.
That's sick. That's sick. Well, I mean, it sounds cool, and shout out to you and everyone involved for putting that effort in. Because I know that little girl is definitely going to remember that shit.
Fuck yeah,
which
bro.
is dope.
That's it. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. All right. So you and me, obviously, our relationship is predicated initially on our kind of journey as musicians, as hip hop artists specifically. So let's touch on that a little bit. Let's go back to the beginning of Dos Boy. How do you get into hip hop? Where you making it? What's the inspiration? What's the moment in time that spawned your music journey?
Cool. Yeah. So like way back the beginning, like I guess like, you know, I was in high school with a few mates, like just loved listening to rap. Back when like MySpace was a thing.
So this is in Byron, yeah?
Yeah, in Byron Bay, Byron High. Shout out. We had a little crew called Young Cowper Crew, because like we were the younger brothers of like, our older brothers had this thing called Cowper Crew, because like we all lived on these streets, and Cowper Street ran through all the streets towards the beach, and then the track went to the beach.
This is dope.
Yeah, bro.
This is dope.
So the older brothers had this like Cowper Crew, like they got it tatted on them shit.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, we were like Young Cowper Crew, YCC, like the little brothers of the Cowper Crew.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, so we put a few songs up on MySpace, and one of them was like, you know, I think it was called "Fuck the Police" or something, and it was like, it was like,
rightfully so,
fuck the Byron Bay Police and shit.
Yeah,
it was like, you know, that's what we were feeling at the time.
Yeah.
We got arrested for it, bro, underage, like, because it popped on MySpace, and like kids at school were singing it and shit. Kids at other schools down like a town over knew it and shit before they knew me.
Yeah.
And then cops came round one night, and they arrested us underage, like took us down to the station. Obviously, like, not lock us up, just take us into the station, give us a talking to. They gave us I always remember this. It was like a caution for telecommunicational offences, which is like where you're like basically borderline threatening someone, because like, we named one of the cops, you know. It was,
okay, fair enough.
My mate, like he impersonated like one of the cops. He was like, oh yeah, if I can move along, you're like you're the young hood raz. And then we were like, fuck you, Keo. And then it goes boom into like my mate's verse. So like they were like, yeah, that's a no and shit. But it was so funny, man, when they had us in the station. This is a bit of a tangent, but I'll be quick. Yeah. He was like, it was Keo, it was him, and he's the one who got named, and he was like, you know, boys, like the music had a bit of a rhythm to it. I could listen to the music. He was like kind of encouraging us to like do it in like, he's like, you could do it without being so offensive and shit.
Just don't name drop.
Yeah. So ever since that moment, man, I've always been doing it for Keo. No.
Yeah. Love the remix. Love the police. Love the police. Shout out Keo. Yeah. No, that's actually pretty cool. Like, because at the end of the day, like that I mean, this should go without saying, but they're human beings. And, you know, he was probably just like, look, there's some young kids. They're feeling something.
Yeah.
I could kick the shit out of them.
Yeah. He knew we were just growing our first pube, trying to get some steam off. You know what I mean? Like, he was like.
Oh, speaking of, right?
You get some pubes.
Do you remember? yeah. I just grew my first one yesterday. Now, do you remember your first pube?
I remember my first underarm hair.
Really?
Is that a pube?
Yeah, where does a pube start and stop? Like, is the shit on the back of my leg? Is that a pube?
Nah, man, that's a leg.
What about
hair.
the inside of my leg?
That's an inside leg hair. I don't know.
What about closer to the axis?
Exactly.
Is that a pube?
You know,
like where does a pube start and stop?
Totally.
I think we need to sort this out.
We do. We need a fact check, though.
Yeah, we need a fact check up. Ruku. No, but that's
at the gym. Man.
Yeah, I know he's doing that work. But yeah, where does a pube start and stop? Anyway, your first underarm hair.
Yeah, so I remember it. I think I was in. I remember it because I used to catch this bus from Cowper Street to Byron High, and like on the bus, like I was with. It was like my dog Critter and Shelby, and we'd always be like talking, and oh yeah, I got pubes and shit, and then they'd always. I remember it would be like showing, and I didn't have them, and they had them because also I was young for my year. That's my excuse.
Yeah.
So like I started school early. They had them, and I just remember thinking for ages like, oh, I don't have one. I got to just front and pretend I do. I got them. I just shaved them and shit. That's what I used to say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I shaved them like. I don't want that shit.
Yeah.
But I really wanted it.
Yeah, of course.
But then I remember when it popped through, and then they had been on the bus, and I was like, I just want to show them. But I've been saying I had it for like 6 months. So like I just got to, I
got to act chill.
I just remember like, I was like going like this and shit. So hopefully someone would see it.
Yeah.
But, bro, it's deep, bro.
Have you got an arm hair? Have you got a fucking brother? Oi, boys. He's got an arm hair.
What a lord.
I seriously remember this so clearly. Maybe 12 or 13 years old. I remember getting my first pube, and I ran outside. My mum was hanging washing out, and I ran outside, and I didn't know what it was.
You thought
I was terrified.
Oh, you didn't know?
I was like, Mum, what is this? I honestly, I know that's fucking weird as fuck, but I showed her because I was like, I don't know what this is. I was terrified.
Where was it? Like just below the belt line, like above your dick?
It was like it was above. It was
above.
Yeah, it was like.
Was it like on your balls or something? You're like, Mom, what's this?
It was actually my dick. No, I was one of them big top baddies, and I was like, Mom, what is this?
Yeah.
Yeah, and she was like, she pissed herself laughing. She was like, baby boy, you're growing up. Like that's part of life. But I had no idea at the time. Yeah. Anyway, a bit of a side tangent. So you're back. So you put the song out. You fuck the police. Keo supports it.
Subtly. Subtly.
And then you go back home. Yeah. Start making more music.
Yeah, we got the
a little
warning.
Buzz on.
Yeah, we got the warning. And then I would probably sort of like the same shenanigans was going on. A few MySpace songs here and there.
Yeah.
But that was when I was like fucking 12 or 13 or maybe 15, I don't know, 13 to 15 range.
All the same
and then
shit.
So like from then till finishing school, I was just sort of like doing all over the place shit as you do as a young hoodlum. But then when I finished school, I was like, a lot of my mates, like we always like loved rapping together, and we'd catch up like once a week, and like we'd go to my mate Lou Dog's house and go in the shed and like record some raps, or go to Laddie's house, go to the Dendy and like record some raps. But then it was like, kind of like fizzled out a bit.
Yep.
But I always had this thing where I was like, I don't want to like stop. I want to keep doing it and shit. So I kept doing it, and I made, I think it was, I made my own MySpace, like a personal one. It's called Dr. DOS.
Ooh.
Like Dr. Dre. You see what I did there?
Yeah, beautiful. Perfect.
And then that's when also my dog Lazy in the year above me, and also Pizzo, shout out, rest in peace, my guy.
Yeah.
We'll get to him, right? But yeah, they kind of like were like, sort of took me under their wings in a sense. They were like,
so Pizzo's
like,
older?
Yeah, they were both in the year above me.
Okay, yep.
Yeah, and we'd all been out of school for like me a year, them a year or two. And they were like, they were both of the mindset like, we want to be rappers.
Yep.
And I was like, I also want to be a rapper. Like, I'm not just doing it for, keto and shit.
Perfect. Yeah.
So I was like, so we would get together a bit, and then I kind of kept that sort of dream alive by doing it with them. Anyways, probably fast track, through a couple of girlfriends for another 5 years. I was like, with an ex of mine, Ellie, shout out, she's a lord. I was with her in WA, and I was like 2014. And I was like, I did my fitness course and shit, and I was like studying to be a PT. I was like working in a gym, doing good shit over there, but I like had this sort of like the the hunger,
Yeah.
So I was like still hungry, and I was always in contact with Pizzo. And Pizzo had moved to Melbourne like a year or two before, and this is where like me coming to Melbourne comes into it. So I basically was always in contact.
So you're in WA. Are you recording at all, or you're just?
Yeah, I had so I was living with Ellie and her mum and her brother Angus and her sister Josie and that, and I had like a little mic set up in a bedroom me and Ellie were living in. I was like recording raps and just putting them on SoundCloud.
Yep, beautiful.
And like and then my mum and her partner came over, and Sid, my mum's partner, he's just a lord, and he's just like he's just a smart dude, and he just loves learning shit. And he was like, "Oh, you make raps? Like, let's learn how to make a music video." Yeah. So we just shot like 3 videos in like a day, like in WA. Yeah. And I uploaded them all. And Pizzo was like living down here, and he'd just met Tom, who's all day down here. And I think they were living together already then. And he was like, "Oh, bro, I'm down here in Melbourne. Like, we're finna blow up. Like, we're on the way. Like, you got it, bro." He's like, "You got it." And I remember there was this like line, and I was like talking in my rap. I was like, fucking something about like, fuck these rappers. I clip their wings and I'ma pluck their feathers. Yeah. And he was like always like, that shit is what's gonna fucking like, you just got it, bro. He's like, you got to come down here. You got to come to Melbourne. Yeah. And he would always just like write to me randomly. Shout out Pizzo, one of the best dudes I ever knew. Yeah. He would always just write to me like, I'm a clip wings and I'm a pluck feathers. Like, get so down here, bro.
That line just stood out
it
to him.
Sold him, bro. And he was like, get down here. And then so like, I was like, fuck it. I finished my PT course. Yep. Went back to Byron for the summer, and then me and Ellie drove down in my mum's old Nissan.
Holy shit. Yeah. Wait, you drove from
Byron to Melbourne.
Oh, right. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, not from WA. Yeah, fuck that Nullarbor shit.
13 years later.
Yeah, I ain't trying to see Ivan Milat on the Nullarbor, bro.
Ivy, what's up, baby?
My boy.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and then so, that was 2015. Started 2015. Okay. Moved down here.
When it all started heating up
That's really what I would say. That's when I was so I forgot to mention, I was DOS Boy Fresh for a while.
Oh, okay.
And then I was like, when I moved down to Melbourne, I think it was maybe Pizzo. He was like, you don't need it. It's like if you're cool, you don't need to say you're cool. So like, I was like, all right, I'll just be DOS Boy. And then I started doing, this was before Spotify and all this shit. You know, it was just like SoundCloud. You just upload your shit. So I just changed my name, fucking uploaded some songs. Yep. Then I met Dom Cork because he was living with Cam Bluff, and Tom would always record his shit with Cam Bluff. Maybe not always, but he would. Peas and Tom would often go there, and I'd just go with them, sit in, and see how it all worked in a studio, not just in your bedroom. Okay. And then and
so you got a taste of that, like a little bit more of a professional kind of setting.
Exactly.
Through those guys.
Yeah. And then much like how when we chat, like me and Dom, we just hit it off. We were just like,
shout out Big Dommy Young, Dommy Cork, by
Big Dommy Cork, or skinny Dommy Cork, man. He's glowing, man. Have you seen him? He's been training, bro.
Good on him.
He's fucking looking good.
Oh, he wants
still big Dom energy.
It's because he wants these hands. He wants these hands.
I don't know if anyone wants those hands. Big Sal.
No. He's a weapon. I've seen some of his shit.
He's going hard.
He knows how to throw.
Yeah, but for real.
So you're getting in the studio with the boys. They're showing you what it's like behind the scenes.
Yeah. And then I also probably that year, 2015, met Dexter Seamus. It was Dex back then. Yep. He was like fucking 16, bro. Yeah. He was so crazy, cute, man. He was just like all innocent, and then he would just hop in there and just murk it. It was crazy. We were like, this dude's got it.
Yeah.
You know? Probably same year, I met so many people who were like, people that you probably know, anyone listening, like, Mole Rat used to come down and stay with us, and she was like 16, and because I
remember that shit.
Teed up with like Tom's manager, I think. I don't even know.
Baz. What was his name?
Oh, I don't know.
Tigerilla.
Oh yeah,
Tigerilla. Is it?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, you remember?
Yeah, I think. I don't know. I was pretty bricked out. I feel you. Yeah, but so it was just like we had this little house. It was like me, Peas, Tom, Deck.
What, you were living together?
Yeah, bro, in Brunswick. It was fire,
come on, bro.
Yeah, Pitt Street. Shout out the heyday. Yeah, Paddy. Griff, who's my dog as well.
Yeah. I feel like I've met Griff.
Yeah, you might have. He's a Byron boy as well.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, so we had this like 7 and Joe South, and then like we had like Eddie and dudes around the corner. There was such a big crew of us.
Yeah, there was a little, it was a movement. There was stuff happening.
Yeah, it was a vibe, bro. We had a fucking basketball court in the backyard and shit.
Oh my God, those would have been the fucking days.
Yeah, and that's also when I got so into like basketball and NBA. I feel like that era really like taught me a lot, you know what I mean? Taught me a lot of bad shit too, like just in my own fucking ego. I got so like on my own, like dick. I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking take over the world.
Yeah,
and shit.
I'm a sick cunt.
Yeah. And then obviously, that obviously all good things come to an end. You know, that household came to an end. Moved out. I was with an ex like Ariella.
Yep.
Shout out, she's a lord. We moved out, and then Agnes, my boy, produced every track on my most recent EP from last year. He's such a fucking killer, bro.
Nice.
Check out Agnes. And we moved in together. We made a bunch of shit. Leezy moved down. I'm just gonna try to move through it quickly because I know how.
No. I want to go back to this this Tom Pizzo house, Dexter.
All right.
So you're obviously living together. So, I mean, like, you all go on to fucking do some like pretty cool things individually. At the time, are you just making music together? You's like, what's the vibe as far as like obviously there's a nice energy in the house, but he's putting out music.
Well, yeah. Oh, 100%. So again, before Spotify, right?
Yeah.
Before even Instagram was there, but it wasn't like what it is now. There was no reels and shit. So me and Pizzo, we did this thing called Pool House Records. Okay. This was Pizzo's thing, really. Yeah. But it was like, he used to say to me, he's like, you know, I'm going to be like the dog and you're going to be like the pit bull. You know what I mean? Like, he's like, I'm going to be the big dog and you're going to be like the pit bull. We're going to be like partners, you know what I mean? Like we put out, so we used to just get like well-known beats. Like I think we rapped on like, you know, some Premiere beats and some Dre beats and we did like episodes. We did it weekly. I think we did like probably only 6 or 8 or 10 or something like that. But we did it and it started popping, bro. Because this was when you did Facebook videos.
Yes.
And like, you know, 10K views was a big deal. And like, I think the first one was like 10, 15K. And then it was like, you know, 20, 30K on the video and shit. We're doing it weekly. And it was just me and him rapping on jacked beats. Actually, this is a funny story, Ready? You'll love this.
Tell me.
So like after like 10 Pool House Records episodes, right? We're like, I didn't know who the fuck this Smith Street band was. I never followed the dudes, but like someone sent me this thing on Facebook one day and like we were all in our like, you know, pool house vibes. We're like pool house and shit. Like we were killing it. And and then someone sent me this thing and it was like a post from the Smith Street band. And obviously they're around the corner. We're in Brunswick. They're in Fitzroy on Smith Street. Yeah. And they're like, did this post and they're like, oh, it's been a long time coming. We're finally going to make our own record label. We're calling it Pool House Records with like a whole artwork and shit. And we were like, what the fuck? So I straight away like start messaging them. I'm like, you realize you just jacked our name? And I'm like showing them posters. We'd put on gigs at like the Workers Club, like Christmas parties with like, you know, Dexter, Seamus, I think Charlie Threads, me, Pizzo, like all these dudes playing on these gigs. We had multiple posters and events and like proof of it. Yeah. So I like hit him up and I'm like, what's going on here? Like you're literally just jacking the swag of the young boys and like taking it and running with it. Yeah. And they like didn't get back to me. I pestered them a bit more. Then they got back to me. They're like, oh, we had no idea. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, yeah, right. But also I'm like, okay, cool. Well, now that you do have an idea, what are you going to do about it? Because and meanwhile, while I was doing this, me and Peas were like on the copyright fucking thing, like fucking registering the shit. And we did it. Yeah. And then we were like, we've copyrighted the name and shit. Like, and we've got proof that we've been doing it. So like, kind of like piss off or like pay up. Yeah, yeah. And they were like, we'll give you $1,000 for the name. And we were like young stoners. We're like, cha-ching! It's like fucking 4 ounces, bro. Like we could just make a new name and pop off. And then so like we did it and they paid us. Yeah, Smith Street Band bought the name off us, which was their record label now. Bro. Yeah, funny as, eh? And and then as you can imagine, as soon as we do it, we look at each other, we're like, we should have done 10 grand. Fuck, man.
Because they went to the 1,000 so easily. You could have easily
exactly.
got a bit more. Yeah.
I think I did maybe say like, oh, you could do more. And they were like, yeah, but also we could just go to court and we could just like afford to go to court for longer than you. And like, I was kind of like, fuck. Like, they were probably bluffing, but like I was also hedgy for a like joint.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Nah, I wasn't really, but I was just happy.
Needed that
we
shit.
agreed on it. And we were happy. Yeah, we were happy, man. And at the end of the day, we were just rapping on jacked beats and calling it a record label.
And you got paid $1,000.
Exactly. So like, that was the moment when we became professional because, you know, that's when
a legitimate
you get paid
business.
for doing something, you're professional.
Professional, 100%.
Professional rapper.
Well played.
Yeah, bro.
That's a nice hustle.
Cheers, dog.
I really like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So you hustled the fucking Smith Street band out of $1,000.
Yep. Yeah. Hustled them. Yeah. Look at them now. Man.
Yeah.
No, but so then obviously that era ended. Then we kind of moved out, and then Agnes came into the equation, and him and Pizzo made some heaters. And also, you should check out Pizzo's posthumous. How do you say it? Posthumous. Obviously, Pizzo's not around anymore.
Posthumous.
Posthumous?
Like, I don't know how to say it, actually.
Like basically album that came out after his passing. My dog.
Posthumous, I think. Posthumous record.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So Agnes produced that whole album, which was a lot of, like, from that probably 2016, no, it's 2017 to 2018 kind of era.
Yeah.
They recorded a lot of those songs. I'm on one of the songs. Travis P's on one of the songs.
Yeah.
You got like Polo, Mikey Hunch. There's I said Travis P. There's Paddy. There's a lot of everyone who was kind of like connected to Pizzo in that era.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's on that album. But then sort of fast forward to, you know, no fast forward. I kind of went to a little bit of a sort of druggy kind of phase because I was just kind of like not knowing where I was doing and shit. And then Pizzo was actually passed away. He sadly, like, fucking, you know, man, I'm happy to talk about shit. It's just kind of like, it's not that I'm tripping on talking about it. I'm just trying to find the best way to put it. Like, I guess I could just say like suddenly, like, you know, I just don't want to like disrespect anyone by like saying too many many details and shit. But like, basically we like lost our brother, you know what I mean? And he was like, really, if you think about it, like how I said, how I came down and shit, he was the thing that brought us all together. Yeah. So like in a sense,
because he kind of encouraged everyone to come chase this thing together.
Exactly, bro. Yeah, for real. So it was really hard for all of us, and like, not in like there's all still love. Like we all just kind of like just like fell into our own abyss and our own, you know, how grief is. It's 100%. Just hard. Like you just, so my method was just like, you know, sniff a lot of coke, do a lot of fucking, you know, pills and shit, and smoke a lot of weed, and so
you're in pain. And
you're a whole lot of pain, bro.
I'm trying to mask it.
For real, yeah, exactly. And then I hopped around a few houses and shit, and I was like living here and there. And I had my dog Lily. She was like the main like thing with me and shit. The only like consistent, because me and my ex Ari, we broke up, and then I was living in a house with the Lord named Warwick in West Brunswick for a while, and then I was just getting so.
What year is this? What years is this?
Would have been 2018. Yeah,
and is that so? Pizzo passes in 2018.
Yeah, I believe so. I'm so bad with like dates and shit like that, but I think it was 2018. Yeah. It was. Yeah.
Can I ask you something? Did obviously it when something like that happens, it doesn't feel real.
Yeah, facts.
But like, does it? Were you actually? Were you sad? Like, I'm not saying just because it's so hard to be like.
Question.
Is this real? Like, should I feel sad about this thing that doesn't even feel like it exists yet?
That's exactly what it's like, bro. Literally, you're like trying to, like, you don't, I don't know, everyone's different, obviously, but like, because like I also lost my brother, like throwback in fucking 2019, bro. Yeah.
Really?
Lost my brother to suicide, like my blood brother, you know what I mean? But it was a similar thing. But like I always had this experience because, you know, also like my dad a couple years later, like in the space of fucking like 5, 6, 7 years, lost like one of my best mates. Oh, sorry. First my brother, then my dad, who wasn't a big part of my life, and then one of my best mates in Pizzo. And like, you know, during that, like, you know, a couple of girlfriends and shit as well. Like there's a whole lot of loss going on. But when I have lost someone who's close to me, namely my brother, like first, Blair, shout out. That's why I got a B on my neck, bro. Like it's Blair, man. He's my dog, like for life. Like when I lost him, it was like, it's more like, that's why it's a good question. I was in shock, and I feel like I still am in a sense. It's like fucking 12, 13 years ago, bro.
Yeah.
And I'm still in shock in the way of like, when you go to think like, oh, I'm sad, like you're thinking about him. It's not like something where you're like, fuck, like you're just crying about it, or you're just like, fuck, I'm so down, like, you know what I mean? Or you lose your job or something and you're just like in your room, like, you know, going, fuck. It's more of a like gut wrenching, just like something just comes in and takes your soul, and you're just there just like I don't know how to explain it any better, bro. You're just shocked. It's just like,
I think what like gives it that kind of shape is the fact that you can't do anything about it. It's so final. Like,
facts.
Like if you lose a job, or like if, you know, you crash a car or whatever, it's like, I could have avoided that. I could have changed that. I could have done something about it. And so it's maybe that sense of like, I could have changed this outcome, and maybe that thing will be different in the future. Yeah. Whereas like when you lose someone close to you, you cannot do a single thing about it. You just have to accept it.
Totally.
And I think that you know, that it there's no other alternative. And that finality of it is like, you can't even be sad about it. It's really hard to just be sad about it. Like, what am I being sad about? This thing that I can't change?
And it's like, you know, up until a point like that, you know what being sad feels like. And then understandably, this is greater of a loss than what you know to be something that saddens you. Yeah. So therefore you're like shocked in the sense of like, you start thinking like, how do I act? And then when someone asks you like, how you doing? You're like, really sad. Like, but like really you're like, there's no word for this level of sadness. There's levels to this shit. And I'm like, you know?
There's a word for like, sad is the word that I use for like when I broke up with my ex-girlfriend. Yeah. This is not sad. No. I don't know what this is, but this is fucking
tragedy.
Yeah. It's a tough one, man.
For real. Yeah, it is. But yeah, I actually, you know, on just a personal experience level, I feel like that was, maybe for lack of a better term, just meant to be in my story. You know what I mean? Like, you know, the brother, the mate, the dad who wasn't already there, and then I lost him, and then I'm like fucking thinking about like what I could have done or this and that. And it's just like, and now I've come to a beautiful place where, which is what my mum talks about a lot. Shout out Chetna. It's like acceptance. Just like you don't have to overcome something. You can just accept it and live with it. And then you just know that that's kind of like just it is what it is. I hate that saying. No, but it's so it ain't what it isn't.
Yeah.
Shout out Nick.
But it is very true. It is very true. And I wrote in a I had a bit of a moment last week, right, where my best mate had his first child.
Really?
Yeah, and
congrats to him.
Yeah, it was beautiful, and I got to watch them pull the like she had an emergency C-section, and I saw them pull the baby out. And
really?
like a video of it, and I was just like, obviously you've experienced this, but like this is the first time that I'd seen it, like a baby take its first breath kind of thing.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, this is so crazy. And 2 years ago, me and Eamon, we were like in a best friend trio with this other guy named Tim, and he passed away 2 years ago. And after seeing like the child born and then thinking about Tim, it was like this meshing of like life and death that I hadn't experienced before. And it was so like, holy shit. It was just, I was overwhelmed. It was so beautiful. Much. Yeah, it was so hectic. I basically just sat in my room and cried for fucking an hour. It was like hectic. But anyway, I wrote a newsletter where I detailed this whole experience. Right. What I felt, kind of what, you know, what went on in my head, like talking about Eamon, he talking about his kid, talking about Tim, talking about loss, life. And kind of getting to what you just said is like, I said at the end of the day, right now is perfect.
Yeah.
In brackets, I wrote, clearly it's not, because like, yeah, you would like certain people to be here still.
Yeah.
But I cannot change what is right now.
Yeah.
So with that said, it has to be perfect, because there's no other thing that this moment right now could be.
Yeah.
And I got to just accept it as that. And it was a nice little thing to kind of meditate on. And I think that's, you know, basically what your mum's saying, and what you've come to the realization of is that like, I can't change this.
Nah.
So it's just, I've just got to sit with this and like, be happy about what they did give me.
Yeah.
Be happy about the things that I did get to experience, and the lessons that we did learn together, and the experiences that we did have.
Yeah. Acknowledge and appreciate, and then represent for them.
Represent for them. Oh, well, that's actually one thing that I wanted to, and you've kind of done this a bit already, but I want you to represent for them right now. Like, you know, what did Blair teach you? What did Blair show you?
Man, showed me so much. Like, wow, you know, older brother, 6 years older than me. Yeah. Like, I remember at his funeral, actually, like, you know, you have to say something. And I said something like, my brother taught me thinking, my brother taught me joking, my brother taught me drinking, my brother taught me smoking. Something like that, bro. Yeah. But like, bro, like my
perfect.
Perfect. Yeah, exactly. But like, so for example, like like when I lost my virginity, I told my brother. He's like, "Did you wear a rubber?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "High five, baby." and then like he gave me my first like CDs and shit. You know, it was like the Tupac Life After Death. No, Until the End of Time, and then Biggie Life After Death, and then it was like Purple Pills, the single and shit. All the hand me downs. I used to wear like Juice EST 93 clothing, like way too baggy for me and shit, just because it was his, you know what I mean? It's like, he was just kind of like, you know, my idol, along with my other brother Gene, who's still around. Like, so they were like my idols.
Did they get you into hip hop, do you think?
100%, bro. Yeah, straight up, no chaser.
Yeah. And then this thing that like is such a big part of your life and has served you so well, like, you get to remember them through, you get to remember him through, and like,
and that's really a big part of like what's kept me going. I think back on, you know, I was talking about like when like the Young Cowper crew kind of fizzled out, and I just wanted to keep going. Like Blair was still around then, but it was like a thing where like they still thought it was cool.
Yes.
So like I was like still trying to impress them and shit. And then when Blair passed and shit, and then I was over in WA and I had Pizzo going like, calm down and get it, bro. Like, you know, I was like, this is meant to be. Like, you know, I could feel Blair like, get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was very much like, representing, bro. Yeah, that's it.
And you're still representing.
Yeah. I like to think so, you know. Yeah. And my daughter too, like Armani's middle name's Blair. So he lived,
right.
So he lives on through all of us, you know.
Yep.
And then also my other daughter Zena, she's a Scorpio, and her birthday is like 4 days before Blair's birthday. And then even like my missus, my queen Jazz, like her birthday is like a day after Zena's, like day before Zena. Sorry. So like surrounded by like trippy Scorpios, man. Both my brother's Scorpios, my partner Jazz, my second daughter Zena, they're all Scorpios and shit. And they're trippy fools, man. I've been getting into astrology a little bit.
I can tell.
Yeah.
Mans is about to fucking go start a full astrology podcast. Nah, I love it. But honestly, I think it's just really important to continue to talk about the good stuff and continue to represent for people that we cared so much about. And you know, like I got this tattoo of this is a memorial tattoo that I got from my buddy. He was Canadian.
Whoa.
And we grew up playing poker together.
Nice, bro.
So we met at the casino, and I got this tattoo. And
bro, I love that.
And I get asked about it all the time at work. Like people go, "Oh, are you Canadian?" And I'm like, look, it's tricky because I have to then go, "No, I got this from my mate who passed away," and they want to go like, "Oh, sorry." I don't want them to be sorry because I am looking forward to talking about him. Yeah. Like it's almost like I get the trepidation or the kind of like, you know, there's a little bit of like, you can see on people's faces, like they go, oh, sorry, like I don't want to bring that up. Or, I'm like, no, motherfucker, I want to bring this up. Let's talk about him. Yeah. And then like literally, so in the cafe happens all the time. Someone will, oh, you Canadian? No, actually, it's from my mate who passed away. There's a moment of silence, like, oh, dude, how do we proceed here? And I'm like, and then I just start talking about him. I'm like, man, this guy was he was pretty much like a big brother to me. I fucking loved him with all my heart. He was a sick cunt. He had that energy. He had that swag. He was a pimp. He was a bad boy. He did it cool. Anyway, and I'll bring them into like the world with me. I won't just like, shout about my friend at these people, but I'll be like, look, this is what he was. This is what he represented in this world. And I represent that now too. Yeah. And, I love it. And it's like,
love that.
It's cool. It's cool to, there's no other way to do it. I don't think. I don't want to grieve. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to be sad. Yeah. I want to remember the beautiful parts. I want to remember what that person meant to me. And I want to continue to, as you said, what'd you say? Represent. I want to continue to represent.
Yeah, fuck yeah, bro. And
I want to do them proud.
Yeah. Yeah, that's real, bro. I appreciate you sharing that.
Shout out Pizzo. Shout out Blair.
That's it. Shout out Tim.
Shout out Timmy. All right, so look, we've covered a little bit of a slightly more heavy topic. It's beautiful. Yeah. But it's heavy. Let's be real. Let's be real. I want to talk a little bit about what's coming up for Dossie. So obviously you just dropped this EP about 9 months ago. Yeah. Has some swag to it. Yeah. But I get this sense after, you and me, we've had some pretty in-depth conversations and I feel like there's a real aura and energy that's like coming out of you at the moment as far as like where your spirit or soul is taking you. Yeah. And it feels like you kind of, I didn't know you before this, but it feels like you're coming to a place of maturity in your heart, in your head. Yeah. Is that fair to say?
I would agree. Okay. Yeah, that's very fair.
What's that mean for your music?
So, yeah. No.
What's next for Dossie as far as music is concerned?
So, yeah. I would say this. So,
talk to me.
My name's Dossie. My name's Dane, actually. That's my government name. And so my friends used to call me Danos, and then that got too long, so they called me Dos. And people say, what's Dossie? And I'm like, basically, it was Danos, then it was Dos, and then it was Dossie. It means nothing, like any good Aussie nickname, man. It means nothing. Yeah. So like my mom calls me Dossie. So like Dossie.
Really?
Yeah, for real, bro. Yeah, that's it. Like Dossie is here to stay, right? But Dos Boy, I'll dive in a bit, yeah?
Yeah.
So like Dos Boy is my musical identity, right? And I've been doing it for a while. I've been through this shit, what we've talked about, pain and loss and grief and all this shit. And it's not so much that made me evolve. It's more just like, actually, I would put it down to like having a family. And I'll tell you a little story, right? Because it's going to lead into what comes next. So basically, when my girl Jazz, she was pregnant with my first daughter, Armani. She was in the belly. Jazz was like 5 days overdue. We're having like a barbecue at my dog Critter's house up in Byron. He's one of my biggest lords. Shout out Critter. We were there and like we were eating and Crit says to me, he's like, so like now that you're about to be a dad, what's next with your music?
Yep.
And I said to him, I was like, well, like I'm gonna keep doing it, bro. Like, who's to say that like I can't make it like just because I got kids? And he's like, what do you mean make it? And I'm like, like blow up, like make it. And he's like, bro, like you're a beautiful man. You're born in Byron Bay. Like you come from greatness. Like you were born made. And when he said that, like it's stuck in my brain, born made, right? So like I've been sitting on this for like 3 years, bro. And like obviously had a couple kids, moved back to Melbourne, been trying to grind again. Like mainly last year I was doing it, like pushing the music and shit. And like I was still doing the Dos Boy thing. And I feel like I was real thirsty with it, bro. I was like pushing my music. I was telling you this earlier. Like I was hitting up like, you know, random gyms. I was doing like Submit Hub. I was doing this and that, just like thirsty, like, yo, play my song. I was like paying for ads on YouTube on my video and linking it to my next single, and then going like, do this and this, and then you get this. And I was doing reels, going like making t-shirts, and if you do this and you stream my song and post it on your shit, I'll give you this, and then get a t-shirt. And I just like wore myself out, bro. And that's actually the reason why I haven't really been pushing any of my music this year, because I've been really just like tripping on this whole thing of this whole concept of trying to make it, right? And I'm like, Dos Boy is like, you know, that's always going to be like who I was and who I am, and Dossie's here, like I said. But like I'm very much on this sort of like, you know, call it woke, call it spiritual, like on this little like trip out, like self-development shit, where I'm like, I don't want to be so thirsty to make it.
Yep.
I want to get back to those young Cowper Crew days where I was like,
where
you know,
you had
not
made
the
it.
like, yeah, exactly, bro. Where like I was born made.
Yeah,
like I already made it. I used to do it for the feeling, like before the streams and before the fucking reels and everything. I used to just write raps and just rap them to my friends, and we'd be like, "Oh, you know how it is, like." Yeah, you know, woo, with the pom-poms and shit. But like, yeah, I just want to go back to that. And like, I'm still keen to share it with the world, and I'm still going to put it out there. But yeah, I'm actually going to use the Sav Show as my platform to announce that I will be changing my name. I'm going to, you know, Dos Boy is cool, right? Shout out. But like Born Made is here to stay, and I'm going to be working on some new projects. I've got like some videos done, some songs done. I'm working with Agnes. I'm working with JD. I'm working with Dom Cork. I'm on the Sav Show, and I'm still me, right? It's not so much a big difference in the sound and whatnot. It's just more of a spiritual thing where I just
it's the intention. It's the energy.
Yeah. My intention is to just like do it for that feeling rather than that feeling of approval. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just gonna try to tell myself that I've made it ever since I was born. You know what I mean? I had some,
and you fucking have, man. Like you got a beautiful family. I mean, you make music and you get to communicate your stories, and you get invited to fucking fried chicken events with like a bunch of sick cunts, and you get to meet cool people. Like, life's good, baby.
Exactly.
Life's fucking great.
That's it.
Yeah.
What's good, baby?
What's good, baby?
No, that's
58 minutes later.
Yeah. We're still doing
baby.
Good. No, for real though. Like, yeah. So yeah, I'm glad you like segued back to that music shit, because it's been on my mind, bro, and I've been sort of like, flirting with the idea. I think I was telling you, like I was originally like, oh, maybe I make like a brand name or like a t-shirt label or this or that. And I was like so attached to the Dos Boy thing because of the accomplishments that I've already had with that. You know what I mean? And like I want to keep paying homage to Pizzo and Blair and everyone. But like really it's just like the essence of me that is doing that, like we talked about on and off air, right? You know, for the Lords, like, you know, and I'm still able to do that. But yeah, just for me, I'm going to like sort of almost prove it to myself, just start from scratch and just like have fun with it, bro.
I think honestly, getting your music done, giving it to the world is the most important thing. However you got to do that, whatever it looks like, just do it.
Yeah.
And like if you got to change your name to like feel like I guess more empowered to start like just executing and putting that music out there and like feeling good about it, grabbing your dick. You know,
grab that shit.
Grab your shit again. Then fucking do it.
Yeah.
Fucking go for it.
Facts, bro.
I with the EP that I'm putting out, I kind of had a similar feeling where I was like, you know, I'm stressing about likes, I'm stressing about playlist placements. I'm stressing about, do I have respect in the scene? I'm stressing about all these things, and I don't want to stress about it. I just want to make music because I like making music. So my version of that was just to go back to boom bap. Just get on some boom bap, rap. So with this new project, my goal is like just rap. Whatever happens, happens. And it's taken so much pressure off. And actually, I'm doing more now, like strategically and specifically and with intent. I'm doing more now than I ever did for the last like fucking 6 years, 7 years. just because I'm taking that pressure off. It's like I care about it more now. Like I want to give it that energy and that love. And
yeah, nice.
Yeah,
that's what it's all about, bro. It's that feeling, you know.
Because this is being a rapper, being an entertainer, being an artist. That's you, and so you just got to get out of your own way. And if that means changing your name to do that, fucking do it.
Yeah, that's it, bro.
Yeah. I love that.
Maybe I'll change it back next week.
Fucking off. Chetna.
Who cares? Yeah, Chetna's boy.
Chet. What's up, baby?
Chet boy.
Oh, okay. That actually sounds pretty hard.
It does,
Chet boy.
Fuck Chet Faker. I'm Chet boy.
Chet Reeler.
Nah, shout out everyone who's doing something creative like yourself, Sav. And I've been lucky enough to listen to a little snippet, a little visual of like what you're working on.
Yeah.
The shit's fire. And especially when someone's doing it for that feeling. Yeah. Like what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Like in that pure essence. Like it's a beautiful thing. So like I think, shout out to everyone who's doing it. And even everyone who's doing it for the whack reasons. Like good on you, man.
You're doing that
shit off your chest.
Yeah, get your shit off your chest. Because you're developing, whether you're doing it for the whackness or the realness, you're developing your own identity. Yeah. And like, let's just say you might not have the best intentions right now. You're going to find the right intentions eventually.
Exactly. Yeah. Facts, bro.
Yeah.
Like I've been through phases. Like that's why I'm saying I don't judge anyone for doing it for whatever reason they're doing it for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know a lot of dudes around here who are trying to be all day. Like it's cool. It's calm. Like maybe like you'll learn that you could be yourself in time to come.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah.
But no, that's it, bro.
All right, Dossie, I'm gonna fucking sign you off because you got things to do, bro. You gotta get that grind happening.
That's it, bro.
Man,
thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming on.
I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, it's been fucking dope.
Fuck yeah, bro.
All right, so now we're gonna vibe out to some music. So you feel free to vibe out with me.
Hell yeah.
Let's
go.
And then we're gonna say goodbye.
Hell yeah.
Let's go. Thank you for everyone. Thank you to everyone for tuning into the Sav Show. My name is Savilian. This has been Dos Boy, and we'll catch you next week on the Sav Show.
Peace and love. Eat your veggies.
Eat your veggies. Let's go.